very warm welcome to So This is Thailand. I'm Valerie McKenzie. Sawadee ka.
I'm Johan Wimonchalau. Swadee krap.
And I'm Tapani Manawet. Sawadee ka.
Now you remember yesterday we actually talked about this new law which says that if you've got people in your vehicle and they're drinking alcohol, that you can also get charged. Well, we've had it confirmed that that's true. All of you people that love to be on the minivan or you love to be in the tourist bus and you decide to have a drink, if you're pulled over, your driver and all of you will get charged 10,000 baht a head. So that's not bad, is it? That's 500,000 baht in one go. And 6 months in jail for each of you.
Yeah, it's 6 months in jail or 10,000 baht
Oh,
fine.
or not both.
Or both.
Or both.
Or both. My goodness me. Well, you know, the law is the law here, isn't it? So this is Thailand, but we'll try to bring you more on that because clearly I wouldn't have thought that was the intention, but especially for those people that come from up country or travel around, I think they really like to enjoy their friendship or the family, and it seems to be a little bit, as we say in English, OTT, which means over the top. Any other crazy stories today?
Not so much, though. I was just thinking about, you might find that in terms of the alcohol in the buses out there, if you're looking at all those cars that have the really dark tinting on the outside, maybe it's time to start tinting all the buses as well. Maybe we'll find some politicians out there sneaking a little
And especially near the end of the month when it's time to actually get a few more baht in, then you can be sure you're going to be pulled over. Now don't forget the price for the foreigners is about 500 baht. If you get pulled over, the price for the Thais is 100 to 200 baht. So it's better actually not to break the rules really, and then you don't get charged at all. But driving in Bangkok or driving around the country can be a challenge. I don't know whether you've noticed when you drive up country and you think you're going so well because all the street signs when you leave here, when you go, if you're going northeast, going via Rangsit, they're all in English. But then when you get a little bit beyond that and you don't know which way to go, they're all in Thai.
It's true.
It is true.
And sometimes you'll find that there's actually two different spellings for the same location. So it can get quite confusing. Actually, a good advice, learn to read Thai.
I think that's one of the
GPS
big
navigator.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
very handy.
And I think one of the big things really is actually that we would say to you is that learn to listen to the language, learn to speak the language. That's certainly going to help you. Even if it's the basics, I think it's a very important thing to do. Reading and writing, I did not. I regret it because I'm one of these people that gets lost. See the sign, it's in Thai, then you have to stop and ask someone and they think, oh, what's wrong with these Farang? What's wrong with these people? Do you drive around the country much?
I do when I can, and actually it's one of the best ways to learn Thai. I found that when I first moved back here that learning to speak was quite difficult because English obviously is more structure-based versus tonal. But if you can learn to read the street signs, which are everywhere, and you start to see, the same names, the same words being used, so it's much easier to recognize, oh, that's Bahonyotin or that's Silom, and then you just keep on adding it.
We'll believe you.
Actually, I live near the airport, but I read Thai. But whenever I'm lost, I just follow the sign for Suvarnabhumi. It always takes me home.
That's cheating somewhat. So what's the news today? What's the talk of the town?
Well, talk of the town, we've actually started the conversation talking about driving around in buses and all that. So the top of the list is the Motorway Fund. What exactly is it? Well, the next time you're stuck in traffic on the expressway, you can ease your suffering knowing that all those cars parked alongside you as well are helping put money into your pocket.
How does that work
exactly?
exactly?
How can this be? Well, your friends at the Ministry of Transport are setting up an infrastructure fund to raise capital to build new motorways. The plan will help the government finance 5 inner-city motorways that will be costing more than 192 billion baht. So quite a large project coming up ahead.
It's a good idea, but I'd have to ask, what investment is it that they're looking for? How many baht? How many billion baht is it?
Well, under the scheme, people can invest in the infrastructure projects through commercial banks like mutual funds and earn interest on those investments. So the infrastructure fund can actually, technically, provide higher yielding alternatives to low interest rates on, let's say, bank deposits, those 3 or 6 month deposits. And also allows citizens to jointly own the inner city motorways. And who wouldn't want to own a piece of the infamous Bangkok road system?
Well, just by you've been talking, I've been looking at the inserts they've put in, and I think I'd invest in the highways. And the reason being is that all the roads that were shown while we were talking had no vehicles on the road. So why not invest? But you know, if you can get a better bank rate and there's a guarantee from the government, why not? I think it's not a bad idea, and it'll certainly raise funds.
Sorry, it's not very clear to me. So it means that you're actually making back interest, or do you get a cut of the earnings from the tolls?
Interest, not
You're
the
getting
tollway.
interest, yeah.
They make the money from the tollway. We only get the interest,
Okay, so it's like saving in a bank.
but more interest.
But more interest, a higher yield.
Okay.
And just some last details on it. You know, investors will be making up. Well, the investor money will be 75% of the infrastructure project because they're trying to reduce public debt on these mega projects. The remaining 25% will come from revenue of 2 existing tollways. And the 5 proposed roads are 96 kilometers from Bang Pa-in to Saraburi to Nakhon Nayok, I believe. 89 kilometers from Chonburi to Pattaya to Mataput. 118 kilometers from Nakhon Pathom to Samut Songkram and onto Cha'am. And last but not least, 206 kilometers from Bang Pa-in to Nakhon Sawan. That is the motorway fund. So if you're looking to make some money, I guess invest in the roads.
I guess we're going to have to get more information for you to tell you actually where you can actually put the money, how you can actually invest.
All right. Well, next up in the news is about language classes beginning in preparation for the AEC. Students in selected schools, mostly near border areas, are learning Burmese, Vietnamese, and Malay for the first time to prepare themselves for the ASEAN Economic Community, or AEC, which is set to be introduced in 2015. Now, some schools that are participating are not near the border, but have a very large immigrant population, for example, in the province of Samut Sakhon. That is being introduced as well. At the moment, there are just a handful of schools, but very interesting. Very interestingly, I thought that, do you know how to greet, for example, in Burmese?
No, I do not.
Not at
Or
all.
in Malay? I think maybe. No, I wouldn't know either. And isn't it weird
I
that
think you're going to tell us that in Burmese.
I can tell you it is Mingalaba Sayama in Burmese. But it's very strange that, for example, maybe in French or German, we would, you know how to say Guten Tag or Bonjour. But for our neighboring countries, we have no idea at all. So I think this is very interesting that it's being introduced. And it's starting in Matayom 2 and 3, or grade 8 and 9. And this is going to be taken as a general communication class and non-degree subject. It will also be available for public interest in Kasetsart University, who will be teaching Malay, Nation University, who will be teaching Vietnamese and Burmese, and Chulalongkorn University teaching Vietnamese and Malay as well.
Well done to the Education Ministry, or who's involved. I think it's a great concept.
It's really great. Also, you know, for public interest, if, for example, you're going to take, how do you say, take the opportunity to go and invest in our neighboring countries for the ASEAN Economic Community, it's very useful to know how to get around.
Oh, absolutely.
That's great.
And another thing is, even though English is the official language of the AEC, knowing the local language really would open some doors, because you know, just being here in Thailand, yes, we can use English in business, but you really have to understand Thai to get things done.
Very much
Yes,
so.
we like it when you make an effort.
That's true. Thank you. We make an effort.
Well, sticking with education, if you've been in Thailand since the last year, you'll know that the 1 tablet per child scheme isn't about vitamin supplements. In an update on the government's plan to give tablet PCs to all Pratom students, some schools are taking the initiative in training parents on how to use the tablets effectively at home. At the Darakam school in Bangkok, teachers establish rules for using the tablets with the students, and they're only allowed to bring them home after the parents have received similar instruction. Parents are expected to reinforce proper use of the tablets and define appropriate times for the child to use them as well. And school officials even suggest parents make use of the tablets themselves. So,
Good idea. If they can control that, that'll be a plus.
Yeah, definitely needs to be controlled to stop people Facebooking in class, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want to be handing out technology and having this happen. But while some schools are benefiting from the 1 tablet per child program, obviously others have yet to receive the devices or their training. It's kind of a cart before the horse implementation, you might say. Many teachers have actually had to train themselves using the manuals while they wait for the government to come in, especially in the provincial areas. It's very rare that they get new technology there, and it's really been problematic for the Office of the Basic Education Commission. So hopefully we see these hurdles overcome in the future.
That'll be good. I mean, it's not going to be perfect all the way through, but at least we're moving forward. Hopefully they will actually achieve what they need to achieve from an educational and a government perspective.
Right, and just very quickly to round off, the Border Security Commission is going to be stepping up efforts to prevent the smuggling of foreign laborers in the southern province of Thailand, in Satun province. They are going to be ramping up efforts to control the movement and migration of Rohingya or boat people from Myanmar coming into the kingdom. And that is set to start very, very soon. As towards the end of the monsoon season, they will start when the Andaman Sea and the winds kind of die down, they'll start to migrate very heavily.
So they won't only just come across the borders then, but they'll try to get on the ships and come in also via sea, which is going to increase the numbers dramatically.
Right.
And it's also, it's not just illegal, workers coming in here. It's actually a safety concern, because you've probably heard, not just here in Thailand, but around the world of workers coming in, trying to find work on boats, and the conditions that they have to endure there are absolutely horrendous.
Right.
We have a lot of those problems with the boat people coming into Australia, and it's not a pretty sight, but it's a big decision for any government to take, and clearly this government too is going to have quite a challenge deciding what it will do, whether it will accept, and when they do arrive here, what can be done with the Rohingya, the people from the south, and many, many more. So a big job to be done. We're going to go to the break, and when we come back, I'm going to be sharing an interview with you, an interview about Thailand's innovation. Did you know that after 2 centuries, over 200 years, always there's been crystal glassware, crystal stemware has been coming from Europe. Now, Thailand has developed its own brand. It'll be the Asian brand of crystal stemware. What does that mean? Stay tuned, we'll bring you more shortly.